Hello and welcome to the Change Gang podcast with me, your host, Laura Ordile. I'm here to help you hold on to your sanity and your soul as you move through big change. I'm here to guide you from frustration to flow in your life, bridging the practical and the woo, just for you. Let's go. Welcome to the week, Change Gang. Today, we're going to talk about clearing some overwhelm, noticing, figuring out how to deal with overwhelm. And it's an important thing because so many people anymore are struggling with it in their life. And it leads to so many issues. I read a definition, I actually wrote it down, about overwhelm. Being in overwhelm is to be completely submerged by your thoughts and emotions to the point of lacking productivity or even feeling frozen. So have you ever felt that where you just can't go into the day, you just can't bring the energy up to do the things that you need to do? You can't deal with it. I can't deal with it. I don't want to deal with it. And it manifests itself in physical form for a lot of people in a lot of different ways. It can come in as a heaviness in the chest, maybe even problems breathing, shoulder, neck, back pain. Be having tension and pain that radiates into different areas of your body, grinding your teeth or clenching, and also headaches. Oh my gosh, definitely. I've been on the headache train. Can get dizziness, fatigue, so tired, yet you can't sleep. Or you have interrupted sleep, constant interruption of sleep. It impairs your immune system. All of that. Stress and overwhelm. And they're kind of linked. You know, a lot of people won't go into overwhelm, but if they're stressed, they don't necessarily go into overwhelm. But a lot of people do go from stress into overwhelm. And it is a very emotional thing. And it can come from a lot of different areas. It can come from traumatic experiences in your life, even from when you were a kid that you might not even remember. You can't recall it. It's just something that's stored in your subconscious and it's continuing to cause issues now. Stress brought on from the workload that you're taking on, which can mean basically trying to do it all yourself and not giving yourself a break, whether it is at your work, at your home, at both places. So many people do this. They take on so much and then they get mad that they're not getting the things done. They get upset. They tune into perfectionism, and then the anxiety comes on, the depression comes on, anger, irritability, the fatigue, all of that. That's what happens a lot of time. If you notice sometimes when something's going on, maybe you're trying to get something done, you've got this, and this, and then someone tries to talk to you, or you're in the opposite situation where you're watching someone do that and you try to talk to them and you get snapped at. It's like, what's with the anger or the irritability? What's that about? And it's an outlet. It comes out because you've got all this going on. It's an actual physical triggering thing that comes on. It's that fight or flight response that's in there. And I think it's the amygdala. Yeah. That comes in and it's going to put you at that amped up place. And then you get so amped up and then you have the chemicals that are releasing and moving and cortisol comes into play and all the different things. And then you crash down and you're in this really difficult spot and it doesn't feel good for anyone. If you're the one that's in the middle of this, if you're in the overwhelm, it doesn't feel good for the people around you either. Know that, because you probably are having the anxiety, the snappiness, the anger that's coming out. And it's probably coming out at the people that are closest around you. Maybe you're on the other end of it where you have someone else who is in overwhelm and you're taking the brunt of it. And that's a difficult place to be too, because you can see maybe, hopefully, that they're in overwhelm, but for whatever reason, they're not letting you help. They're not getting the help that they need. They're not doing the things that they need to clear that overwhelm. And so whether you are the person in overwhelm or the one that's living with someone in overwhelm, it's going to cause issues for both of you or whoever else is around. It causes issues for your kids. If you have kids in the house, those people that are around you, your friends, everything, you're absolutely going to have moments where everything's fine, where you're good, you're comfortable. But I would guess you have some low-grade headache in the background, or you have some other little pain that's going on in your body due to it. There's going to be something going on with you that is reminding you that you are not in a good place. You are not in a good place. And you need to be moving yourself into a better place. And so how do we do that? Well, a couple hours of meditation a day. That'll just cause you more stress, more anxiety, all of that. Don't do that to yourself. Now, if that's something that is your personal goal and you love doing it, absolutely do it. I'm not saying don't meditate or anything, but for people like me who, 4 minutes of meditation is a stretch for me, and that's like a visualization process. And I have trouble committing to that every day. So I have to find other ways to do it. And of course, I do it through working with the subconscious, through subliminals that go in and help with it at that subconscious level, because I will put on a stress and anxiety subliminal recording, and it's constantly in there saying that I'm okay, that I can manage, that I can do the things, that I feel calm and well and all of that. And so my subconscious then is taking that in as that's what I want. I am feeling calm. I am managing the things that I want to do. And it's going, oh, okay, those are the instructions. Let's do that. Now, here's the thing. I love to go in first and do the hypnosis and actually give an idea to the subconscious that we're making change. We're going to make some change here. We're going to open the doors. We're going to get some fresh air. We're going to relax. We're going to rejuvenate. We're going to do all those things. And I do that because there are parts inside yourself. There's these little things called ego parts that are in there that can kind of get their back up when you start trying to tell it what to do. It's like, nope. And gets all sassy, and then it makes things worse. But if you bring those things together, if you bring all that in, you have the conversation with the subconscious and you're working together with those ego parts that are there, when you're blending all that together and you initiate the change process that way, it's like, oh, all right, yeah, we had that conversation. We know what's happening. We're going to be hearing these things. We're going to be changing. We're going to be doing all of that. And then it doesn't get upset or kick back or do anything like that. And your subconscious will kick back. There's times when it will definitely kick back. And those are some ways to start changing some of that, right? But one of the first things to do is to stop and identify. Here's like the number one thing to do for you. Identify what you can and cannot control. Number one thing. And oftentimes we think certain things are in our control or not in our control. And as you know, I believe everything for ourselves is something you can control. You control whether you go to work. You control the job you're at. You control the person that you're living with. You control all of that. And if you try to say, no, I don't. I have to be in this job, or I have to live with these people, or I have to do anything, you do not. Ultimately, it is your choice. Are there consequences for those choices? If you choose to leave the job, if you choose to move out of the house, if you choose to, absolutely. But the choice is yours. And so there's a bit of responsibility in that, and saying, here's what I'm choosing. I'm choosing to stay at this job. I know it's stressful, but I'm not willing to leave it. So what can I do around that? Right? So then the mind starts thinking, okay, well, we're not jumping ship. So if we're not jumping ship, what do we do? How do we make it better? And then it starts to work with you on finding ways to do that. But if you are in the middle of that saying, I'm going to quit this job. I don't want to be at this job anymore. I need a new job. I need to do this. Then the subconscious is going to start looking for opportunities for you to do that. And then you're going to be in the middle of it. And then you'll be talking back again and saying, yeah, but I can't. I need the money. I've got to stay here. And so you have this conflict going back and forth. And this is going to lead you into overwhelm. Absolutely will lead you into overwhelm. because the subconscious is going, what the heck do you want? What do you want? Because I can get you there, but you're telling me a couple different things. And sometimes we have things going on in our mind where we don't even realize there's those battling end games, the conflict in them. And so that's why, another reason why you go in and you do the hypnosis and you clear the way so that then you can go, okay, here's the change I want. Here's what I want to do. Overall, I need to feel better, whether that is staying in this job or moving out of this job or whatever it is. My goal is to be in a better place physically, emotionally, all of that, mentally. And so when you can get to that, then everything can come together and be like, oh, okay. Now here's the thing. You need to remember this part. When you're doing that, you have to know not to panic when things start to change. When things really start to roll and come into play and you all of a sudden end up being laid off from your job. Don't panic at this point. This is something that you've been asking about, wanting is to be in a better place. So know at that point that that was the right thing. That was the right thing that could happen. So now you get to pivot. Now you get to pivot and go, what can I do now? Where do I want to go? What job do I need to take or want to take? Not need to. Might be something that you need, but what do you need in the job? I need this much money. I need to maintain my brain, my emotional health now. I need less stress, so more freedom. I need these things. And so then again, you're directing the subconscious, the universe, all that to come together, bring you into what you need. It will lead you along the way if you allow it. So definitely identify what you control, what you don't. All right. And accept the responsibility for it, and then accept the responsibility for deciding the ultimate outcome of what you want outside of the overwhelm. I want peace in my home. I want peace in my home. Okay. I want to sleep better. I want to feel happy and not sad and angry. I want these things. Identify what's going on. And from there, you look outside of you as to what you want. You look and go, okay, I do want to stay in my job. I just want it to calm down a little bit. I love my job, or I just really don't like working with this particular person. I can't control that right now because your job assignments are assigned to you maybe. And I'm controlling the fact that I am staying at the job. I cannot control the fact of who I'm working with. So here's a point right here where you go, all right, but I can control how I respond to this person. I can also control when I get up and walk away, when I just accept certain things and don't let it bother me. I can control all the things. Some things I can't control. I can't control that they eat at their desk. And it makes me a little bit crazy, behind constantly. And it affects my work. I cannot control that. Is it frustrating? Yes, but if you cannot control it, then you need to come to a place of being okay and backing yourself up. Now, if you're in a job like that then you make notes all the time about, I asked Bob for the part that I need on this on Tuesday, the 18th of July, 2023. At this time. And his response was that he would have it to me by this date. Or send an email. Hey, Bob, just confirming you are going to have that to me by this date. Then you have a record of it. Keep those things in play. So if somewhere down the line something comes up and someone comes in and says, hey, how come I don't have this? I'm still waiting on Bob. Well, Bob says that he didn't know anything about it. Actually, on this date, at this time, I had that conversation with Bob. All out of here. And it's fact right there. It's all written down, or the email is sent. You have your backup. There's nothing to be upset about. At home, there are times when you would really like to control your spouse, your significant other, your dogs, your kids, all of that. Can you actually control them? No. You can control your responses to them. You get to control whether you get massively upset because the dog just knocked over the plant. Is it a pain? Yes. Will the plant maybe die? I don't know. I'm not good with plants. Don't ask me. But you're going to have to find another vase now or another pot to put it in? Maybe. If the answer is yes, what are you going to do in the meantime? If the answer is no, then you deal with it. You move forward. Can you control that your dog just chewed up your favorite pair of shoes? No, if they're already chewed up, you cannot. So what do you do at that point? Do you get mad? Do you get frustrated? Do you let it keep happening? Do you beat your dog? I hope not. I hope not. You find some help. Go to YouTube if you need some help on that. Go to a friend, find a dog trainer, find a class, find something that is going to help you so that you are not going to get that upset over anything. I'm not saying you're not going to have that momentary, dang it. Absolutely, we're all going to have those. We're going to have moments when we're mad, when we're sad, when we're upset, when we're crazy. But if you let it continue to live inside you and build and build and build, you move into overwhelm. You move into the chest pain, the neck pain, the back pain, the headaches, the stomach issues that come along with that. Oh my gosh. I mean, so many people these days have IBS. Part of that is in that overwhelm. Ick. All of those things that follow up. So if you're processing and finding that space to be okay, then you're going to be a lot better. Next, delegate. Delegate. It doesn't have to be done perfectly. Ask someone to do the laundry or do a portion of it. Put the laundry from the washer to the dryer. Will something maybe get shrunk that you didn't want to get shrunk? Yes. I actually had that happen. I love my husband and he was trying to be nice. I don't even think I asked, but he did a load of laundry at one point and I had bought a brand new sweater and he had the sweater in there and it was really pretty and it came out about this big, the size for a toddler maybe. And so that was a little, I just said, it's okay. You don't, that's my job. You don't have to do that part. If I have something in there that I need to say, will you please shift this over and take this out for me? Now I know to say that. I know that oftentimes somebody might not do a job. Your kids might not vacuum as well as you want them to. They don't get the edges. They don't do something. First of all, say thank you. You did a great job. Next time when you do it, would you add this in for me? Would you do the edges for me? And then the next time you ask them, you remind them, hey, will you do the vacuuming for me, please? And will you remember to do the edges this time? And they might go, oh, but they will remember. And then you don't have to be upset about it. But the thing is, they might not be as perfect as you need it to be. And this is where you decide, is perfection more important to me than having it at least part way done and an okay way? Will it maybe make you a little crazy? Which one's going to make you crazier? Do you have to do it perfectly? Or will it feel better to just get it done? You decide. And if you have to have it done perfectly, go do it. And then give me a call and we'll deal with the perfectionism part of it. All right. But delegate. Ask people. So many people don't ask. They just won't do it. And that's your fault. If you are not doing it, that's your fault. I'm sorry. You have to step up and say, I need help. I have had to ask for help in so many different things over the last few years, you wouldn't even believe it, including help in my business, help with little things. How do I change this? I can't tell you how many times I've had to YouTube the silliest little thing. YouTube has the answer. Thank you, YouTube. Almost always. I have to ask what seem like ridiculous questions sometimes. But until I have that one little tiny piece, it's not going to work. And so I'm going to ask. I have learned over my lifetime to ask. And I'm going to encourage you, if you do nothing else, ask, and hand over something. Let it go. Chunk things down. Break them down. I'll tell you what, I had long haul. Well, I guess we're going on 3 years, but for 2 years, really badly. It's been good. Not so bad over the last year. Thank goodness. Yay. But in those first 2 years, I had to chunk things down seriously. I had such chronic fatigue and breathing. It had all the issues with the long haul stuff and it was not good. And so I could not manage at that point to clean my house. Couldn't get it all the way clean. So I had to chunk it down and I would literally maybe dust one room. 2, if I was really lucky, really had the ambition, really was feeling up to it, I would dust 2 rooms. Or if I was really wild, I would dust a room and vacuum it. And then the next day or a couple days later, I would go and do another room. I had to do that for a long time. And sometimes I still do that. It's ingrained in me now to know that if I don't have the time, the mental flexibility, or the momentum or energy to go do something, I will chunk it down. I cleaned part of the bathrooms the other day. Last week, I think I cleaned part of them on one day. There were reasons I couldn't clean the whole thing, but I really needed to do part of it. And so I just went through, I have 3 bathrooms. I cleaned one part in each bathroom. And then a couple days later, I went back and cleaned the rest of them, finished the next part of it. But I had to chunk it down. And you know what? My bathrooms got cleaned. And there was no stress. There was no frustration. There was nothing. It was just like, okay. Now, could I have gotten upset on that one day and said, no, I have to get this done. This is what they need to be cleaned. Everything has to be there. Absolutely, I could have. Oh my gosh, my chest feels yucky even talking about it just like that right now. So why would I do that to myself when waiting a day or two solved everything? And it was less conflict in my household, and it was just so much better all the way around for everyone. So chunk it down, break things into pieces. I learned how to do a little bit of editing in an app this morning. Do I know how to do everything? Nope. Do I know how to use all the apps? No. But I learned how to do one part of it in there. I had watched video how to do it, and then I'm going back and forth between them on how to figure it out. But I had been so overwhelmed with just trying to get it done that it was frustrating the heck out of me. And so I had to set a time and say that this is my day that I'm going to sit down and I'm going to search for how to do this and see if this is an actual functional possibility for me. Because if it was something that was going to be too complicated, too hard, too anything, then I would have to go to plan B. Let's find the next thing that maybe will help me do that and so that I can edit my videos, do the thing, do all of these. Thankfully, plan A worked out. It was easy enough to do. I can see how to do it. I actually have a little backup because I was exploring a little bit, and boom, yay! I got to where I can edit a video. And I'm really happy about it. Now I don't have the overwhelm of having to do that. I can just go in and do some of it. And I'm so excited about that. And now I can continue to move on. I have something else on my list that I've been in overwhelm about that I've kept putting aside, not doing, because every time I sit down to do it, I struggle with it. So I'm going to have to go, and I'm pretty sure I have the information somewhere, or I'll find it. I can absolutely find it on how to set it up. And it's a piece of tech. Tech is becoming my friend. Let's say tech is becoming my friend. I'm going to keep that in the positive because I'm getting more and more and more accessible, and it's moving along a little bit better for me. There you go. And then I found the most interesting thing. So I want you to do this. If you get in a state of overwhelm, if you are in the anxiety moment, if you are in that where you can't get out of bed, or you just have to lay down, you can't take it anymore, you can't do anything, can't get off the couch, or you're in that anger moment of and exploding, you might have to bring that down a minute before you do this, but go and use ice cold water, or ice itself. Get an ice pack, chew on some ice, splash really cold water on your face, and then put the ice pack on and sit with that ice for 5 minutes. 5 minutes. 2 minutes if that's all you have. But you can always go in a room anywhere most of the time and splash some cold water on your face. What it does is it interrupts what's happening, and it interrupts and distracts the fight or flight thing that's happening in your body. Because now the fight or flight is like, whoa, what's happening? We're freezing. And it's got energy going somewhere else. But it's a wonderful way to interrupt. And I'm not a super fan of it, but I was doing some little investigating on it, and it's one of the ways to stop things, to interrupt that. So if you're having the panic moments, if you're having other issues going on, go find some ice. How simple is that? And then I'm going to add one more thing in here, and some of you are going to walk away from me at this point. And that's okay. If that's what you need to do, I understand, because there would have been a time where I would have told you probably to go pound sand if someone said this to me too. But if you are in the state of overwhelm, and you're taking medication and all that, yes, absolutely. I understand that there are times when you need medication to get through what you need to get through. I have no objection to that. I will say to give yourself a break from alcohol for a while. Give yourself a break. It will change a lot. You might be upset about it and a little cranky about it for the first little while. But if you're struggling with that, again, give me a call. We'll get you through that. And the thing is, with alcohol, people say, oh, it relaxes me. It feels good. It does, but it just dulls things. And then it kind of kicks in to the wrong situation. It goes in and it processes the sugar and all of that stuff in your body. And then it's going through your body and creating the wrong hormones again. And it's the ones that are going to bring on possibly the anger, possibly the irritability, the depression. I mean, you see people, and oftentimes they go one way or the other. They go into the real sad part of, being it. Sometimes they'll go into a happy state, but as they continue, they'll be into a not good state. And you're like, I'm good. I only have like a glass of wine or two, and it's my relaxation. That's up to you. But if you're in this state, I would say take a break for a while. Let your body clear it out. Let your body come back to where it needs to be without going into the fog, without going into that escape mode. And that's what it is the escape mode. And finding a way to regulate itself without that, to bring on the serotonin, the melatonin that you need to do that. And I have, I'm doing this wonderful work right now where when you do some of the work with me, I actually have a great recording to boost serotonin and melatonin. And it's awesome. And it's incredible how your body functions and works. And when you're drinking and doing some of that, you're stopping some of that function, just so you know. And when you are bringing in the medications, yes, that gets you through for a period of time, but then your body goes, oh, okay, you're bringing in this medication. It's kind of doing what I was supposed to be doing anyway, so I'm not going to do it. So then it doesn't continue to make the chemicals that you need to feel happy, to sleep, to function properly. So it blocks those things out. So there you go. So there's a few things that you can do and some information on the Overwhelm process and kind of how that works for you. And I hope that some of those will help you to clear away and bring in the happiness, clear away the crap and bring in the happiness. So identify what you can and can't control, right? Inside yourself and around you. Delegate and ask for help. Ask for help and let go of the perfection. Chunk things down as far as you need to. Do it for yourself. Even if it's only for today. Maybe then tomorrow you'll feel a little better and you can pick it up. If not, then you do a little bit more tomorrow. And sometimes it builds up a little bit, but most of the time when you're getting stuff done, yes, you're going to come right back and you have to start over again. But that's okay. You're getting little things done along the way. Use the ice, the cold water, any of that. And at least for a little while, cut out the alcohol. So there you go, my friends. There you go. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you had some fun. I hope that these are useful to you. And if there's something that you want me to talk about or explain or have some conversation about, you let me know. I will bring it about. I will do that. So there you go. I hope you have a great week. And I look forward to meeting you same time right here next week. Ciao. I hope today's episode was interesting to you in some way and fun. If so, hey, find someone to share it with. Maybe they need to hear it too, or maybe they'll just enjoy it. If you'd like, go ahead and grab my tips on supercharging your success. It includes a free short meditation to do just that. You can find that at bit.ly/supercharge your success. Until next time, happy day.